In October of 2022, I started hearing something over and over again on the YouTubes. I hadn't heard it before, but now suddenly I was hearing it everywhere. And it was because I was looking up fasting for women in particular. What I kept hearing is that women need to get out of ketosis and stop fasting the week before their cycle. I heard this during stall month 7 of 9, so I was willing to try anything. I heard that the carbs needed to be in the form of more vegetables because the fiber in the vegetables were a precursor to progesterone. I didn't dig too hard to find articles that proved that assertion, but I didn't find any either. So if you know of some research that backs that up, please let me know in the comments. So I got on my Samsung Health app, which tracks these sort of things, and I found out that the week before my cycle in November was Thanksgiving week. What a perfect time to get out of ketosis and let loose a little. So I thought anyway. Remember, it was Thanksgiving 2021 when I'd lost the ability to walk for a few months, and I was not anxious to repeat that. So I was going to take this very slowly, very cautiously. My plan was to eat at maintenance calories for this diet break week. Thanks to Robert Sykes' book, Keto Bodybuilding, I was able to clock that in around 2,300 calories a day. There's a link in the description. Anyway, the week of Thanksgiving, Monday through Sunday, I ate at maintenance calories, 2,300 calories a day. I brought my carb allowance from below 10 grams a day to above 50 a day in general, with Thanksgiving Day in particular being around 100 grams of carbs. I'm 95% carnivore all the time. When I cheat keto. And I didn't have anything that's outside of the keto diet except for half a baked potato, which I was really craving. But I did make sure to stay under my carb threshold for that day. If you want to know exactly what I ate on Thanksgiving Day, I have a link to my Pinterest board for that day down in the description. It has all of the recipes and everything was great. Just I turned out to be sensitive to some of these ingredients. I got strawberries and had them with the zero sugar Ready Whip whipped cream. I made a homemade cheese ball and made almond flour butter crackers, which was a bad pairing. The butter crackers were too flimsy to hold up to the cheese ball, but it was delicious. I made a pecan pie cheesecake for my dessert, all keto. The berries didn't hurt me. The allulose sweetened treats didn't hurt me, but the almond flour, asparagus, green beans, and potato most definitely did hurt me. I looked 6 months pregnant the night of Thanksgiving. Legit. Next morning, the bloating had gone down a little bit, but not much. I apologize for the unflattering pic of me and my skivvies, but I just wanted to show you how crazy the bloating was. I hadn't felt bloat in a year. It was very painful. All I could do was go back on carnivore and ride it out. The worst thing was that morning I woke up and my right hip was starting to act up again. It was very inflamed and I was this close to losing the ability to walk again. And all thanks to eating vegetables and backing out of ketosis for a week. But I kept thinking about it. I really did like eating at maintenance for a week. It was like a break from the very strict rules that I had put around my nutrition for so long. I know Dr. Berry advocates not counting calories, and I think that's really true if your only goal is to achieve good health. But if you want to lose weight, you're gonna have to take calories into account, or at least macros. I didn't want to discount this advice I had heard for women just because I had one failed experiment, so I decided to give it another try, but with different parameters. So for experiment round 2 in December, the week before Shark Week, that's what I call it, I allowed myself to eat at 2,300 calories a day. I had the berries and cream, I had allulose sweetened treats, and I only ate things that I know don't hurt me, like avocados, olives, cheese, some watercress, that sort of thing. I had done the Triple B&E challenge at the beginning of the year, 90 days with absolutely no sweet tastes. So I knew I could do it, done it before. Now I was adding them back in to see how I would react, and apparently I react great to allulose, and stevia too. I got no problem with stevia. And this time, my diet break fell on Christmas week, which was awesome. I had keto crack, which was amazeballs. And the link to that recipe is down in the description as well. It's on the Pinterest board called Christmas. The sun keeps moving. I keep having to move the camera. Sorry about that. Allulose makes a wonderful caramel/toffee sort of thing. It was amazing. And it was great to hear everyone at Christmas say, "Oh, these are keto? These are actually good." I learned that I do not like the Lakanto monk fruit blend or erythritol or swerve or anything with that cooling sensation on the back end. Not for me. I have a link below to the best price I've been able to find on allulose. Anyway, I survived Christmas with no bloating and no regrets. So I told you all of that to say this. I think there may be something to loosening the reins around your cycle. In November, I started the experiment on the week of Thanksgiving at 2,300 calories, Then I dropped down to 1700, then to 1500, then to 1300, and then I jumped right back up again to 2300. And it was fine. I continued to lose weight. But this time in December, I did things differently. I started at 2300, dropped drastically down to 1300, then up to 15, then up to 17, and then I'll go back up to 2300 on the next diet break. Right now, I just started the 1700 calorie week, and it's going really well. I don't have the results for this experiment yet, but I will by the time you're seeing this video. So go ahead and check out the link to the blog down below. I was still within my 9-month stall at Thanksgiving, but I broke it around December 4th. So I was no longer in that stall in December, and I've continued to lose weight ever since December 4th. So I had broken the 170-pound barrier and then continued to lose. So basically, I lost 20 pounds within the first 2 months of going carnivore, and then I lost nothing for 9 months, and then I lost 10 pounds in the last month of 2022 doing carnivore. How crazy is that? But the craziest thing is that I've continued losing weight using this method. I think the key is to keep your body guessing. Like, it's incredibly hard to try and eat 1300 calories every day for an extended period of time. It's just not enough. You start feeling weak, your hair starts falling out, just things are bad. And I know I can do 2300 calories a day without gaining or losing, but I want to lose. So I need to fit somewhere in between there. I have actually done the priming experiment where you like force feed yourself breakfast, lunch, and dinner all kinds of meat and butter. So basically I ate ribeye and a buttload of butter for, I think I did it for 2 weeks, and I averaged around 4,000 calories a day. And I didn't gain anything. This was during my stall. This was one of the things I tried to break my stall. It did not break my stall, but I didn't gain any weight. So I know that if I only eat meat, like pure carnivore, only eat meat, I can eat upwards of 4,000 calories a day and not gain. So that's nice. That's good information to know. But I learned I very much dislike having to eat if I'm not hungry. Also, my blood glucose and ketone readings remained pretty darn good throughout this whole experiment. I never did fully back out of ketosis, even though I tried. I went from around a 1 to around a 0.5, which is the beginning of ketosis, but never lower than that. There's a link to the Keto Mojo down below too if you're interested in starting to take your own readings and compiling your own data. When the first experiment began, about a day early on November 20th, I weighed 171.2. My glucose was around 80 and my ketones were around 0.7. A week later, after eating at maintenance and trying to back myself out of keto, I weighed 171.7. My glucose was 79 and my ketones were 1.1. That was no fasting, just eating a bunch. That's when I began the second experiment, dropping down drastically at first and then coming up slowly back to maintenance. But as of Monday, January 9th, 2023, I was 163.4 pounds. My glucose was 77 and my ketones were still 1.1. Those are great numbers. I have never in my adult life seen the 160s before. Never. Now I'm close to seeing the 150s and then the 140s and then the mid 130s, and then that should be about where I land as far as body fat percentage. But I don't know. I've never been there. I've never been this close. I've also never been this healthy or pain-free. Like, my back will still hurt if I overdo it physically, and I'll get sudden crippling joint pain if I let my nutrition slip. But if I stay on track, my day-to-day is practically pain-free. So I think there is some value to loosening the reins around your cycle once a month and bringing your calories back up to maintenance for that week before your cycle. I do notice that I feel a lot better emotionally. I'm more contented. I'm less stressed out about my diet, and my stubborn body really seems to dig it. Maybe yours will too. And if you've been stuck for a while, you should watch my last video about how to endure a stall. You can watch it here. If you found anything of value in this video, please like, share it on social media, and subscribe. Until next time, stay beautiful, friends.